Konani mu mosquito neti. Musaro pepper spray. Musaro pepper neti. Is in the angela. Ojingiliza ututu. Neba. Ukazikona kuneti neba. Malaria si sanka iwe neba. So protect your family, my neighbor. It ends with me. It ends with Malaria me. Will end with Malaria you. Ends with me. It ends with you. It ends with me.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the Churches Health Association of Zambia, CHAZ.
Ozeron Funeral Services, under the supervision of Mr. Ronald Chimpaga, the Director of Operations, offers the following services: body care, caskets, coffins, tombstones, and long-distance transport. We also provide tents, chairs, and lowering machines. Find us in Lusaka at UTH and Charleston. Contact us on the number 0976 161213, that is 0976 161213, or contact us via our 24/7 hotline on 0975 442107. We also have branches in Monze, Luansha, Chongwe, and Livingston. Ozeron Funeral Services. Come for affordable and quality services.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, air con filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news. The headlines. Cholera deaths decrease, but new cases surge. Anti-corruption network calls for urgent constitutional reforms. Zambia faces a DRC in Total Energies CAF Africa Cup tonight. This news bulletin is also streaming live on the 5FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, Hebet Mutavi. The country has recorded a decrease in cholera deaths from 23 reported yesterday to 15 in the last 24 hours. The 15 deaths have been categorized as 4 facility deaths and 11 community deaths. However, the number has risen from 373 recorded yesterday to 463. This brings the cumulative number of new cases to 10,413 since October 2023, while the number of deaths has increased to 412. 694 persons are still admitted, while 375 have been discharged, according to the Zambia National Public Health Institute National Daily Cholera Update. 47 districts are affected by the outbreak. Meanwhile, the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, has provided 500,000 kwacha to the Ministry of Health to support efforts aimed at mitigating the effects of the cholera outbreak. Of the total amount, 300,000 kwacha is meant to provide the Ministry of Health with at least 10,000 liters of fuel. ZRA Corporate Communications Manager Oliver Nzala says 50 selected vehicles from the Ministry of Health have since started drawing the fuel from an established service station. Mr. Nzala says the donation also includes 50,000 pairs of surgical gloves and 200 blankets. Mr. Nzala says that the fight against the cholera outbreak calls for a multi-sectoral approach and that ZRA will support efforts by the Ministry of Health to improve public health.
We do understand that there are other needs that the Zambia Revenue Authority is still looking into so that we can fully assist everyone who's involved in the fight against cholera and ensure that society gets back to normal. Revenue collection is more than collecting revenue for the government to provide services. It's also about having a heart for the people.
The Southern African Network Against Corruption has called on the government to immediately facilitate urgent constitutional reforms to address some lacunas that are negatively impacting the governance of the country. Organization Executive Director Gregory Chifire is concerned with Article 52, Sub-Article 6 of the Constitution, which has the potential to cause an electoral crisis, as has been witnessed in recent by-elections. Mr. Chifire says Article 52, Sub-Article 6 of the Constitution of Zambia provides for the cancellation of an election by the Commission on account of the resignation of a candidate. He says while it is undisputed that the architects of the Constitution made this provision to enhance democracy, the provision is also prone to abuse by political players, thereby subjecting the electoral system to uncertainty.
What has happened in the Kayo ward in Mwansabombwe, where the ECZ has postponed the by-election due to the resignation of the candidate for the Citizens First Party,
and the soon-to-be announced postponement of the other two elections in Kampamba and Mayembe wards in Pika and Shiwangandu districts, respectively, due to the resignation of candidates, goes to show how much political players can take advantage of this lacuna to manipulate the electoral system.
In a related development, a parliamentarian says that the recent tribunal findings on the Kampamba ward by-election, which highlighted procedural irregularities by the returning officer, raise serious concerns about the impartiality of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. Mpika constituency member of parliament, Francis Kapyanga, says it is disheartening to see candidates such as those from Citizens First in Kayo ward in Mwansabombwe and the New Congress Party in Kampamba ward in Pika districts, as well as the leadership movement in Shiwangandu, withdraw from the electoral race in their respective wards. Mr. Kapyanga charges that these withdrawals signify a growing lack of confidence in the country's electoral board to conduct fair elections. The lawmaker says the electoral body, which plays a pivotal role in upholding democracy in the country, should be above reproach and instill confidence in all political players and citizens. Mr. Kapyanga says the withdrawals and controversies surrounding recent and current by-elections underline the need for a reevaluation of the structure and practices of the ECZ.
I advocate for the reconstitution of the Electoral Commission of Zambia to restore faith in the electoral process and ensure the integrity of our democratic principles. I implore the current ECZ team to act independently and impartially, thereby safeguarding the democratic values that our nation holds dear.
A consortium of 47 civil society organizations, which has recognized the need to criminalize child marriage, has demanded that the government facilitates a process to ensure the enforcement of the law on any form of child and early marriage. The consortium is also advocating for stiffer punishment against perpetrators of gender-based violence to serve as a deterrent measure against would-be offenders. The CSOs are further demanding the establishment of fast-track courts across the country, especially in harder-to-reach areas that are fully capacitated to arrest ever-increasing cases of GBV in communities. Non-governmental gender organizations coordinating council board chairperson Grace Nkamba has, on behalf of the consortium, called for the reinstatement of the Ministry of Gender under the full operationalization of the Anti-Gender-Based Violence Act No. 1 of 2011. The consortium comprises Women and Law in Southern Africa, Women in Law and Development in Africa, Young Women in Action, and Society for Women and AIDS in Zambia, among others. Other individual participants include Daputsa Nkata, popularly known as Sister D, and Chief Gogo Mazimawe. In other stories trending this evening, the Zambia National Men's Network for Gender and Development has proposed that a female should be appointed as Secretary General of the United Nations, UN, when the term of the current Secretary General comes to an end in 2026. The National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, says 20.8 billion kwacha is due for waiver following the recent signing into law of the National Pension Scheme Penalty Waiver Regulations of 2024 by Minister of Labour and Social Security, Brenda Tambatamba. Stay tuned for business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
A combined team of officers from the Siavonga Town Council and the Zambia Police has engaged the Zamfresh and Yalelo to resolve the conflicts on Lake Kariba fishing boundaries between the fishing companies and the Carpenter rig operators. The team was flanked by the Department of Fisheries and representatives from the Carpenter Association. Council Chairperson Given Kwapu led the team to Zamfresh to appreciate where the fishing boundary for Zamfresh are located before proceeding to Yalelo. Mr. Kwapu told the Zamfresh Operations Director, Mr. Yan, through his interpreter, that his team had visited the company upon receiving reports of conflicts between Zamfresh and the Carpenter rig operators over the boundaries, which has resulted in a lot of fishermen being arrested for alleged theft and trespassing.
It is important that we probably go there and check. Maybe probably the complaints coming from other stakeholders are bordered on maybe the lack of accuracy. So we would want, as a team, the police is here, so that the issues of arresting here and there, we are aware that there are issues of trespassing.
And Fisheries Assistant Mianda Maiva disclosed that according to the Environmental Impact Assessment report, Zamfresh were only allocated a portion behind the island for their fishing, farming,
their trials, because initially we had the different cages, not these. They had metallic ones. So they were doing trials to see whether those cages can stand the winds on the other side. So that's how they started with this plant and started building the stronger ones for the other side of the island.
Ends business news. Stay tuned.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
In foreign news, in Rwanda, President Paul Kagame says he would return money to the UK if no asylum seekers are sent to his country under his deal with the government. The UK has paid 240 million British pounds to Rwanda, with a further 50 million British pounds to come. So far, no asylum seekers have been sent to the country. Here's a roundup from the BBC for other world news stories.
The Rwandan President Paul Kagame has said he's willing to return millions of dollars to the UK if legal challenges to a deal between the two nations continue to prevent migrants from being transferred to his country. Under the agreement, the British government plans to send asylum seekers to Rwanda to have their claims processed there. Those sent would have no right to asylum in the UK. Mr. Kagame distanced himself from the political row the deal has triggered in the UK. Pakistan has recalled its ambassador to Iran in an escalation of a dispute about a deadly missile and drone attack on Pakistani territory on Tuesday. The Foreign Ministry said 2 children were killed. Several people are reported to have been injured in the Russian Republic of Bashkortostan in clashes between riot police and supporters of an ethnic rights activist. Sri Lanka's Supreme Court has revoked a presidential pardon to a former MP convicted of murdering his political rival in a public shootout.
In sports news, President Hakainde Hichilema is expecting nothing less than more goals than the Chipolopolo boys' opponents at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. The president has since called for coordination among the players. The highly anticipated Group F fixture of the 2023 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations between DR Congo and Zambia kicks off at 22 hours Zambian time at San Pedro's Laurent Poker Stadium. Zambia is looking to the talent that emerged in their Total Energies CAF Under-20 AFCON squad, with the likes of Patson Daka, who has grown into a key member of the senior squad. Up next is the evening weather report, brought to you by Classy Econ.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Northwestern, Luapula, Eastern, and Lusaka provinces, including the northern parts of Western Province and western parts of Central Province, are mainly cloudy, slightly windy and mild, with isolated rain. Southern, Copperbelt, Muchinga, and the northern provinces, including the southern parts of Western Province and eastern parts of Central Province, are mainly cloudy, slightly windy and mild, with rains. Ends the evening weather report.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening weather report brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Cholera deaths decrease, but new cases surge. Anti-corruption network calls for urgent constitutional reforms. Zambia faces DR Congo in Total Energies CAF Africa Cup tonight. For more news, follow us on Facebook at 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the Technical Department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Herbert Mutabi.